He's going to set his people free. That's his choice. We have no hand in that. We don't deserve it. We don't. It's his choice. And that's why I'm so grateful that he set it in motion. He said he's going to deliver his people. That it don't require us to do something for him to do it. It's like he set a time in motion, and when that time's come, is when he's going to do it. All right? And that is mercy. And I'm thankful for that because, wow. Then he told Ezekiel, he says, Ezekiel, prophesy to these bones and say to them, dry bones, hear the word of Yah. This is what the servant Elohim says to these bones. I will make breath enter you, and you will come to life. I will attach tendons to you and make flesh come upon you and cover you with skin. I will put breath in you, and you will come to life. Then you will know that I am Yah. So he says when he put breath into you, which is his spirit, then you're going to come to life. Spiritual life. I mean like spiritual. The spirit affects the physical. Alright? So, he said, speak life into these dry bones. Alright? Then he said, I'm going to put my spirit then, because guess what? When you see things start changing from a way that it once was, you can only say like, oh, by the grace of the Most High that this stuff has happened. Look at that person. Look at that person. They are not the same as they used to be. These people have changed. Look at them. So, he says, then you will know that I'm Yah. And so for him to say that, if something has to happen that we know that we couldn't do ourselves, that it had to be something bigger than us to change the situation. So for us as a people to change, we know that it has to be something greater working on the inside of us for us to change as a people. Because, like I said, when you look at it, I guarantee you a lot of y'all be like, can you see how people changing? And most of you would say no. Because we have had a heart of stone. It's spoken in 36, a heart of stone. So, therefore, it is an act of the Most High that change comes to us. It's by His purpose. All right. So, he says, He will come and breathe life into these slain, and they may live. And it says that as He commanded, as I prophesied, it said He commanded, and breath entered them, and they came to life and stood up on their feet, a vast army. See, once you understand this, He says they stood up on their feet, a vast army. Who is the army of Yah right now? People marching, people doing this, everybody's scattered. There's no togetherness when it comes to our people. We supposed to be like, we haven't become one. We are many individuals, but not one. We all trying to do our own thing, which makes the body sick. But when everybody has a mission in mind and one set focus, everybody, though many different parts, will affect the one body, and the body will work in the way that it's supposed to work when everybody's doing what they're supposed to be doing or how they're supposed to be doing it. Alright? So, I don't really want to go into more of the Valley of Dry Bones or speaking into His people. But that's what He says, because they're dead. They've been scattered all over the place doing everything. So we're not one right now. We are many individuals, and we have to be transformed mentally, in our mind, and in our spirit. Alright, so with that being said, excuse me for a second. Alright, so with that being said, finally, Jeremiah 50 and 50, I don't know. These some long chapters, so I'm going to try to figure out how to shrink them down as best as I can. Now, it says His people have been scattered among the nations. He said He's going to deliver His people. To go back to the word that I had received over a year ago, which was deliverance of his people. How things was about to start shifting and changing, because he had set a time to set his people free. So in saying that, it's deliverance time. That wasn't a heading, but that sounded like a good heading. That wasn't my heading though. It's deliverance time. But we have been scattered across many nations. And as you can see, like I said, over a year ago, what has transpired this year that has affected many nations? Now, these are just the earlier birth pains. They're not the total package. And like I said, women, you know, when it comes to birth pains, the shifting and the pain and the, hurry up, baby, and get here type of stuff, it gets worse before it get better. And that's the thing. This, what we see, is nothing compared to what's coming. Alright? That's why I said that it's not too late. He showed me that I didn't say something. And now, because we're in the early birth pains, it's not as bad as what it's going to get. So you still get your warning before things kick up a notch. So when I kept coming up on these different scriptures, and as I was reading it, I was like, okay, what are you saying? What's going on? Is this what's happening? Or this what's about to happen? And as I was reading, I told you I tried to share it with my husband and my kids. And my daughter kept coming, oh, Mom, can we do this? Can we do this next year? I'm like, baby, we can't plan nothing right now. We can't live for next year. I don't know what next year is going to bring, because if the scripture that the Most High has given me, next year is going to be totally different. And the way that we're living now is not going to be the same as it is next year. So I'm trying to explain it to her, but I don't want her to feel down, because she's thinking like, oh, Mama won't let me do nothing. And I'm like, baby, you don't know what times we're in. Things are shifting. Things are changing. So, and I'm telling my husband because he has his own business. So I'm like, okay, y'all keep trying to do things the same way y'all been used to doing them. You're going to be mad when things start changing. When things start shifting and changing, and those things that you used to do, your comforts become taken away. Or just things just not done the same way no more. And I kept trying to explain them to this because of what, like I said, I was receiving in the spirit. And the thing was, it says Babylon. Babylon. Babylon, Babylon, Babylon. And the Father says, basically, I'm going to deliver my people from Babylon. So you have to say, if he says he going to set his people free, and they're scattered around the nations and no man can save them, then the question becomes like, how are you going to do that? They're everywhere. So basically, Babylon is not just one nation. Most people say America is Babylon. Yes, America is, but there's a lot of nations connected to it. And the sheer fact that our people are being oppressed in all different nations and places, that every place could be considered Babylon. Babylon is just basically a place of captivity. That at one point, the Father told them, which this just came to me, it's in scriptures. This is also in Jeremiah. Like I told you, I'm going to let the Spirit lead me. This just came to me as I was thinking this. This wasn't part of what I was going to. But he told them through the, I don't know the exact scripture. I'm going to have to use my phone to find it. Trying to find it. All right. So this is, I tell you, this is Jeremiah. It says 29. All right. So he says Jeremiah 29. Well, that's what it's saying. Let's see. It's in 5 through 7. All right. So, like I says, this is what we have did. We have done this, what I'm about to read. It says, this is what Yahweh Almighty Elohim of Israel said to all those I carried into exile from Jerusalem to Babylon. Build houses and settle down. Plant gardens and eat what they produce. Marry and have sons and daughters. Find wives for your sons and give your daughters in marriage, so that they too may have sons and daughters. Increase in number there, do not decrease. Also seek the peace and prosperity of the city to which I have carried you into exile. Pray to Yah for it, because if it prosper, you too will prosper. Yes, this is what Yah Almighty Elohim of Israel has said. Do not let the prophets and diviners among you deceive you. Do not listen to the dreams you encourage them to have. They are prophesying lies to you in my name. I have not sent them, declares Yah. Alright, I'm going to read something else as I was reading. So that's what he says. Having that what we did, we've been sent to the different nations. We have settled down, built houses. Excuse me, y'all. I'm sorry. Alright, I'm sorry, y'all. My daughter is away and texting me and stuff. So he says that he told them to, when he scattered them among the nations, he said, settle down, build houses, marry, have kids, basically get comfortable. Alright? He says increase in number there and do not decrease. I'm going to tell y'all something. Now, do I have the numbers? No. But I know history. And I understand the enemy. The enemy is not going to tell you the truth. We are not 13% of America. Blacks, why someone, think about this. If you are the Most High's chosen people, and people know that, they fear you. They fear you. Because of him. They're not going to tell you the truth. They're going to try to keep you weak and down. Because if you know the truth, then you stand up and you rise. What city have you went in? Maybe, I ain't talking about no Idaho and no Nebraska, none of those type of stuff like that. But that you didn't see many black folks there. They tell you that we are 13%. That's a small percentage. We are not. The Most High told us to go increase in number and do not decrease. We have not decreased. Matter of fact, we have become so unclean that it's a lot of fornication going on there. We have a lot of kids and people having babies out of wedlock. Teenagers. We are not decreasing as people. They put our people in jail. They put our people, killing us. They trying to decrease us because we are so many. Stop believing the lies. We are not few. We are many. And when he sent us to place, it's for us to increase. We have increased. We don't know the numbers that they're using or how they didn't even consider us people as one time. So how can you trust these people number for how many people? We are not 13%. So us as black folk, stop saying that because you heard them say it. It's not true. Matter of fact, if you go to the times when the children of Israel was in Egypt, when they were in Egypt, and they said, the Pharaoh was like, at one point, if you remember, they was in Goshen. They had a certain area when Joseph gave a certain area to them to live in. But after the sons and Joseph and Jacob, all of them died out, the kids stayed there. They increased in number. Matter of fact, it said that they became great number. So they had to keep oppressing them and making them work and doing things to kill them, make them tired, so that they can decrease in numbers, because they were so large that they feared them. And I'm telling you, they fear us. So the only way to keep us from rising is to keep us down and to give us false information. We are not the least. Our number for us black people may be greater than that of white people. And who has taken the time to find out those exact numbers? No. We have been given what they told us, and we've been relying on that. They have been lying to us and deceiving us. So, therefore, I'm going to leave that there, because it's time to stop believing that untruth. Like I said, truth speaks. It's time to stop being deceived by people that have been set up to deceive us, to keep us oppressed. Alright, so therefore, he says, he told them increase, and that's what happened to us. We have increased in number, and they have been doing everything from killing us, trying to wipe us out, to throwing our men in prison, to doing all of these things, to divide the family, to keep the family divided, to keep us down. They have been doing this. Look at what they're doing. I mean, it's so much difference. Our brothers and sisters in different areas are going through so much in different areas. All our struggles is not the same, but we are struggling in some form, or oppressed in some form or fashion. Alright. So this is what has happened to us. We have done this part. Now, since we have, how many got houses? How many got cars? How many got gardens? You see, we have done this. We have been doing this. But when it comes for the time to be delivered, if you are being put in bondage, it got to become a delivery time. Therefore, I said that you got different birth pains. You got the going through phase to come up to things coming to pass. All right? So, if he says he's going to deliver his people from bondage that he put them in, then if we have been doing the bondage part, isn't it time for the deliverance part? Alright. So, if you go down to verse 10, like I said, this just came to me. This wasn't part of what I was going at with this. I don't know how many different videos that it's going to take to, but just watch them all. Alright. So this was Jeremiah, chapter 29, verses 4 through 9, and then verses 10 through 14. Alright, so he says, this is what Yah says. When 70 years are complete, that's how long they was in Babylon. Unfortunately, it's different time periods that our people have been in bondage because of disobedience. It's been 200 this time, 40, 70 this time. They've been in bondage. We've been some bad people, put it like that. We have been some bad, hard-headed, stubborn people. Alright? We're still the same way. Hard-headed, stubborn, and just don't want to listen. Alright? So, he says, when 70 years are complete for Babylon, I will come and fulfill my good promise to bring you back to this place. For I know the plans I have for you, declare Yah. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you hope and a future. Then you will call on me and come and pray with all your heart. With all your heart. I did a lesson about that heart. I will be found by you. See? When you seek with all your heart, then he said, I will be found by you. The Father's not looking for us. He knows where we're at. He's waiting for us to seek him. Alright? So, that's how it's supposed to be done. Too many people saying they praying and they waiting on the Father, and the Father waiting on you to come to him with your whole heart. Alright? He said, I will be found by you, declares Yah, and will bring you back from captivity. I will gather you from all the nations, see, nations and places where I have banished you. See what it says? From all the nations and places from where I have banished you. So that's why I say we're scattered people all around the world, that he's going to deliver and set free from all the different nations. All right? And I will bring you back to the place from which I carry you into exile. So he's going to deliver us from the place he carried us into exile. All right? So, in saying that, he sent us into bondage. He says, settle down, get comfortable. All right, it's going to come a time when I'm going to deliver you. See, he has a time set in place. You must understand, why did we go into bondage? And that means that he's a forgiving and merciful Elohim, because we didn't deserve it. Too many times we failed him. Too many times we were disobedient. We didn't honor the oath and things that we co-signed for. We didn't honor it. So we lived in disobedience and sin. But for him to have mercy on us is all glory to the Most High Yah. Praise him. Thank him. Thank him so much for that, because we don't deserve it. But we thank him for it, because that's how we achieve salvation and have an opportunity to be saved. All right. So, that's what he said. All right. I don't know if it's going to be any more verses that come to me as I try to do this. But he said he's going to deliver us from Babylon. All right. So, all right. So, he said he's going to deliver us from Babylon. All right, so now we talking about Babylon. We talking about the things that's about to happen and come to pass in Babylon now. Because you got to think about it like this. If he's trying to deliver us from the nations he scattered us, the thing is, something got to happen for that to happen. Look what happened to Egypt when the Father wanted to deliver them out of Egypt. Look at what transpired. The plagues. The frogs. The water turned to blood. The killing of the firstborn. A lot of things happened. Destruction came upon upon Egypt. Look at the times. Go back from the deliverance from Assyria, deliverance from Babylon, deliverance from Egypt. Go back. Look at what happened to all the nations when the Most High decided to deliver his people from these places. Babylon never recovered. The physical Babylon never recovered. Alright? So, what do you think going to happen to these nations where we're scattered at right now? Destruction. Destruction is coming upon Babylon. But see, the thing is, we looking for a boom.